A trial date has been set for March of 2026 in the ongoing legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And there were accusations of smear campaigns and competing complaints that each side created a hostile work environment on the set of the movie It Ends With Us. Joining us now is Neama Rahmani. He is a former federal prosecutor and the president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Welcome back.
Good morning, Rudabeh. How are you?
Fine, thanks. So thanks for being here. I want to start with this newly released audio. It's a message from 2 years ago. Justin Baldoni apologizing to Blake Lively for disagreeing over, I guess, potential script rewrites. Talk a little bit about that and the significance of that in terms of how it could play out in court.
This is part of the Baldoni team's legal, but also public relations strategy to release evidence that they think supports the actor's argument that this was a disagreement about creative control, and it wasn't really sexual harassment at all. Now, it was a 2 a.m. voicemail, and it does end with him talking about a baby on Blake Lively's boob, but otherwise, it does show a very nice, kind Justin Baldoni. Doesn't appear to be too creepy. So I do think that this helps his defense, along with the recently released video of the two dancing in that famous rooftop scene.
Okay, there's a lot going on every day here. It's a little hard to keep up. So let's talk about just the original complaint, how we got here. The original complaint from Blake Lively about sexual harassment on set. Then he responds to these allegations with his own lawsuit and a lawsuit against the New York Times.
So there's the courtroom and there's the court of public opinion. Blake Lively struck first by filing a lawsuit in New York claiming sexual harassment, and she provided some text messages between the two to the New York Times. Baldoni's team struck back, first suing the New York Times, saying that those text messages were cherry-picked and they were taken out of context, and really that this flirty banter was the nature of the relationship between the two. They would exchange jokes and memes and anecdotes about their family. So the first thing Baldoni did was sue the New York Times for defamation. But then he also filed a lawsuit against Lively herself and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. So we have two different cases going on, at least from the Baldoni camp.
So do you think this is going to get to trial?
I do, because this isn't a case necessarily about money. It reminds me of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Well, Baldoni's trying to save his legal career. He doesn't want to be canceled. So this is as much to get his story out, to get the truth out, than it is to actually get money from Lively and Reynolds.
And do you think, as far as, the public has been fascinated, of course, with this case and this relationship gone bad and the he said, she said, do you think it's going to be televised?
Not the one in New York, unfortunately, because in federal court and under New York law, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom. But here in Los Angeles, we know that they are. So I think that lawsuit will likely be televised, like the Johnny Depp trial. And of course, there's at least allegations that Taylor Swift was a witness to some of this. So it'll be interesting to see if she's going to be dragged into the courtroom in that California case.
Yeah, it's again such a fascinating case for so many people because of what happens behind the scenes, or at least the accusations about what happens behind the scenes and all the big players involved. But what are the implications more broadly of this in terms of the public interest?
Well, the implications are this. Lively is saying that this is sexual harassment, and one of the legal elements of sexual harassment is that it has to be unwelcome. So Lively's going to have to prove that. It doesn't appear clear in the text messages. Now, she did complain to the production company, and they brought some consultants in. Of course, Baldoni is going to argue that this was about creative control and Lively trying to resurrect her own tarnished reputation. There are a lot of people who are watching that don't like her. So that public relations component is going to be key here. Is this another Me Too type case, or is this, a false allegation that's gone too far? The jurors are going to have to sort through that.
All right, and we'll leave it there. Neama Rahmani, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Rudabeh. Talk to you soon.